Hi guys, I'm back with another video, and this is my, don't pay attention to that super dryness. Ugh. Okay, this is a video about taking off my manicure with my UNT peel off base coat, and my manicure fared pretty well. I was going to take it off the next day, but I decided to leave it to see how long it would really last. And this chip right here I did immediately after I painted my nails, so it stayed like that. And then this came off this morning, so it's been 3 days. My thumbnail came completely off on the second day. Okay, so what I do before I take off the base coat is I take my cuticle oil, and this is, the label's all messed up, but it's Butterbeer cuticle oil from Bliss Polish, but any oil will work. Like if you don't have specific cuticle oil, you can just use like coconut oil or whatever oil you have. And I just really load it up, all in the cuticle there, which my cuticles were very thirsty anyway, so it needs that drink. Okay, so I just, especially if there's a place where it's peeled up already, I'll really get in there and just kind of go at it. Then I'll let it sit for a while, and then I'll just go in and kind of lift it up. And as it's hard to get it in the frame. There we go. See? It just comes up. I don't have my regular tripod, so it's hard for me to work like this. Because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, this one is just not wanting to come up, so I'm going to put some more cuticle oil on it, because you don't want to tear up your nail. That's the whole point of the peelable base coat. So I'm just going to really let that cuticle oil sit in, and I'm just going to try another nail. This one, we'll try this one right here. And, you know, it might not be real time that you see this in. I might need to let this oil soak in for, you know, a couple minutes and come back. So we'll try this one, and if it doesn't work, we'll let it soak for a little bit. Okay. And it's so hard to see what I'm doing because, there we go. I don't have my normal camera set up. Okay, there we go. It just came right off. Foot stuck on because of the oil. There we go. Boop. Perfect. Okay. So let's try this one here. It seems to be on there pretty good. I need to let that one soak a little bit more too. Okay. I'm trying to get in there, but I can't. Okay, so this one came off really good. These, I'm just going to let them soak a little bit longer, and I'll come back after they've soaked, and we can see the rest in just a little bit. Okay, so I've let the oil sit now for about 2 minutes, so we'll try one more time, and if I can't get them off, then I am, oh, there we go, good. I was gonna say I'll just wait a little bit longer, a couple more minutes. There we go, there's another one just came off, super perfect. There we go, and then let's try this side. There we go. Yeah, looks like it just needed to sit a little bit longer. And that right there, that stringiness, that's the peel-off base coat coming off. There we go. There's another one. And then let's try this one. And this one just wants to come off in pieces, I guess. There we go. Oh, I felt it release. There we go. So now I have 4 pretty clean fingers. This one with the stamping has a little bit more cleanup than the rest, but nothing a little nail polish remover and a cleanup brush can't fix. Oh, I wanted to show you. I got a new cleanup brush. It's the one from Twinkled Tea. Hold on, I zoomed in, yeah. This is my new cleanup brush here. Whoop. There we go. Move that out of the way. You see that? So cute. and then my hands are covered in oil. I can't get the lid off. Look how small that tip is. I love it. Ah. And then there's little jewels in there, and they like jiggle. Hear that? A completely unnecessary purchase, as I have several cleanup brushes. But I just loved the little head on this one. And I could have just cut my other cleanup brushes. Like I made them less thick. I could have cut them small like this, but oh, I couldn't help myself. Okay, well, I'll be back with my manicure. I'm doing Illusion for the Claristelle Challenge. And I'm going to just paint my nails with a white base coat. And then we'll be doing some gradient work. Okay, well anyway, there was the first part where I peeled off my peel off base coat. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Okay, so, ooh, that's really zoomed in. All right, so now what I'm going to do is build a gradient using a dampened sponge. So I just took one of these sponges and it's wet, and then I squeezed all the water out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Island Girl polishes I got when I was in Vegas, and I'm going to build a gradient with these colors. And these are called Aloha Girl, Aloha Sunset, and Aloha Dream. Okay. And my daughter is down here with me today, and we are having ourselves a little Harry Potter marathon, and we're just having a blast down in the nail room. Okay, so here we go, and I'm going to start off with the orange, pink, and then purple. Now, the reason that I wet the sponge, if you watched my last video, I didn't wet the sponge. I just used a dry sponge to sponge on the glitter. And that is because I wanted the sponge to soak up some of the clear base and leave just the glitter on the top. But in order to create a really nice gradient, I wet the sponge so that the colors can blend together a little bit more, and so that I can use less polish so that it won't just soak up into the sponge. Okay, now these Island Girl polishes, if I just use them to paint with, I have to do about 3 coats. So we'll see how the sponging goes. I might have to do, I normally do 3 coats when I sponge, but I might have to do more with these. We'll just see. And I am going to leave my ring finger plain because in my last video I used an indie polish that was a glitter, and I said that Revlon's Holographic Pearls was a good dupe for that. So I thought I would paint my ring finger with the Revlon Holographic Pearls so that you could see that it's a pretty good dupe. Okay, so I'm just going to, I just reapplied my polish, and then I'm just sponging it back on. And I just love the way they sponge when it's wet. It's just so much better. I used to build my gradients dry without doing this, and once I saw this trick in a video, I can't remember whose video I saw it in, but I just realized, oh my gosh, it is so much easier to wet the sponge. It just blends so much better. And I didn't mention it, but I am doing Illusion for the prompt from the Claristelle Challenge. And what I'm going to do is build this gradient, and then I'm going to use similar colors in my stamping polish, and I'm going to build a gradient with a stamp and stamp it onto my gradient base. So I think it's going to be really cool. And normally I have my right hand done already, like as a practice hand, but this is a technique I've used a lot, so I didn't feel the need to practice first. So yeah, I've had this white polish on my nails since Friday. I just haven't had time to paint. I ended up painting my cousin's nails for homecoming. So Eva, if you're watching this, hey. I painted her nails for homecoming. It's her freshman year in high school, and she had homecoming, and it was like a real date homecoming, not like going with a group. So I did her nails and her makeup, and she looked absolutely beautiful. Okay, so there's that, and I think I am just going to need to do 3 coats, so I'm going to keep just sponging away, and I'm going to do my right hand as well, and then we will come back to do the stamping. Okay, I know I said that I'd come back with stamping, but I forgot that I was going to do the glitter. So I wanted to show you, this is what my nails look like after I take off the liquid latex. So there's super minimal cleanup. And I'm going to use my new brush, that one I showed you. How cute is it? Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of dry sponge now, and I'm going to paint on the holographic pearls. So you can see that it's super similar to the one I used the other day. That was an indie polish that's no longer available. So what I'm going to do is paint on one coat. And then I'm going to take my sponge, and I'm going to take the smaller end. I like to use the smaller end of the sponge. This one's been cut off so many times, there's not much of a smaller end left. So I'm going to paint that on, and then after this dries a little bit, then I'll take it and just sponge it on like I did in my last video. Okay, so I've got my sponge with my Revlon holographic pearls, and I waited for that first coat that I painted on to dry, and I'm just going to sponge this on until it looks opaque. There we go. Then I'm gonna get in there, cover up all the white. Normally I wouldn't use a white base coat. I would just go straight onto my nail or even paint a silver base coat, but since I already had my nails painted white and I wanted to show you this good dupe, there we go. Super shiny and pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to paint my right hand, and then when I come back we'll do the stamping. Okay, so we are back, and I'm getting ready to do the stamping. And for the stamping, I'm going to be using my Mundo de Uñas polishes in Neon Orange, Neon Pink, and this one's called 2D. And my 2D is weird. It doesn't have a brush on it, so if it looks weird when I'm stamping, that's why. So we're going to be using Uber Chic Plate 6-01, and I'm trying to cover up the glare from my ceiling lamp, but we'll see how that works out. Now I'm just covering the whole plate. Okay, so I'm going to start right here with the orange. And the neon polishes are a bit thinner than the rest of the Mundo de Uñas polishes. And that's why there's so much out, because even though I try not to, it kind of gets a lot out. So anyway, so what I do is I just real gently scrape it, and then I go back and do a real scrape. And I'm going to take my clear stamper from Cosette Nail Shop. And then what I'm going to do is flip it around so that the purple is where the orange polish is. And then stamp it on. So, there we go. So that it's opposite of the gradient. There we go. I think it's so fun. Okay, so I'm going to go back and clean that up. I'm going to do it again, and this time I'm going to try to not get so much polish out. They're just so much, I mean, they're thick, but they're thin. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, whatever. Okay. And there's the pink. And then the 2D, which has no brush. It came that way. It's weird. It's probably somewhere in the polish. Okay, so then I scrape it real gentle. I'll show you just a second, Erwin. My daughter wants to see the brush head. Okay, and then a good scrape. And then what you do is you just pick it up like normal. And this time I already have it turned around the right way. So, okay, so something weird happened with my camera. Sorry, it cut off that. So we'll do one more, and then we're going to stop. I think maybe my phone's getting too hot, and it's not recording anymore. So let's go ahead, and we're going to do a little bit of orange, a little bit of pink, and then dab on that 2D. I think what I'm going to do is just the next time I order, I'll just ask for an extra brush. Okay, now a good scrape, and pick it up, and right here I will stamp it on. There we go. yep, so I'm just going to finish up my nails and I'll come back with the finished manicure. Can't even talk. Okay, so here is my finished manicure. Right there. And I still have some cleanup to do on my right hand, but I always have cleanup to do on my right hand, and sometimes I don't ever do it. Let's see if I can get that shadow away. There we go. So there's my finished manicure, my illusion manicure for the Claristelle Challenge. And then my boys are still asleep, so we are going to do some Halloween nails on nail sticks. Here's one that I've gotten done already. Let me show you real quick. It broke off the nail stick, but there's one, and that's one that's inspired by one of my favorite YouTube nail artists. Her channel is Queen. I can't ever say it. But anyway, last year for Halloween, she did this nail art challenge where she made a new video every single day in the month of October, and they were all Halloween related. And I like to think that I could be that amazing, but I know I'm not. But I'm going to try to do as many Halloween manicures as I can. And that one right there, I've always loved it of hers. So I did it today on a nail stick, and I'm just going to, what I did is I asked my students to give me words that reminded them of Halloween, and I'm going to play around in my room until the twins wake up and do as many Halloween manicures as I can. All right, have a great day, guys. Bye.